Okay.
Okay, good evening, Jean. Thank you for your patience. We believe all our parents that are coming are here tonight. I want to thank the parents who are online tonight as well. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Mai Chi Vu. I am the Executive Director here at Hope Community Academy.
Takulah mesti hai kau ada no, kita hanya lagi hai ke ukur dah kuat, doi takulah pada aku ada lagi terkai hai kuat ukur dah kuat ada hanya ini. Kuala tiga ya terkoni ko no, kuala tiga ya terkani ini lemes mencipu no.
I'd like to take this time to also introduce the rest of the administration team who are also here tonight. Dr. Chai Lee, our principal, here wave. Mr. Jova Ali, our program development director, and Ms. Sandy Vu, our operations director. I also.
Dr. Chai Lee, ada Petra mata kerana tua hai jo jo pemuka dia pada sorry Mr. Jova pada Miss Sandy actually operation director.
I also want to recognize our school board members who are also here tonight. Ms. Kajua Yang, she can wave.
Dạ rồi, thì tin nhắn được sẽ có được Miss Kajua với
Ms. Mai Vang.
Miss Mai Vang.
And I saw Mr. Andy Grover.
Mr. Andy Grover.
And did I see any school board members? So I want to thank our school board members for also attending our meeting tonight.
School board member lo akhir ukur dah pada nak naik.
I also want to introduce Mr. Ku Vang from JD Vang Realty, who is Hope's project manager for the building expansion plan.
Mr. Ku Vang ke JD Vang Realty lah kemana sekolah dah pada kecuali tu kau ke terawat dah hanya.
Okay, so the purpose of the meeting tonight, before I get into that, I just want to share with our parents and the community in general. I have some good news. Our authorizer, the University of St. Thomas, has approved our 2 applications for a pre-K or preschool program and a high school program.
Penjualan baca kuat atau authorizer kira kita pada yang kita pengguna itu lah penjual di logik kita doa pada PK deklarasi harga.
Mất sai luôn, mong của chị đã sai vào ta rồi. Cũng một người trong share thì là bây giờ nhiệt gì đi, bây giờ không nhìn đâu có cái tiền nó, big authorizer, your University of St. Thomas, the approved, bây giờ là sai có big application. So bây giờ khi đủ program to pre-K, bây giờ preschool, chỉ ta lên đó, bây giờ khi到 high school 啲時啲嘅，可能可以係連中10 kilometer 嘅方。So with that, I just want to also get to the intent of tonight's meeting, which is to talk about the building expansion plan. I'm going to move a little, I think we're close to each other with our mics. So, all right, is this better? Perfect, okay, sorry about that. So, as I was saying, the University of St. Thomas approved our 2 applications for our 2 programs, pre-K and high school. It is our intent to open these programs next school year, the fall of 21-22 school year. However, to make sure that we can meet our growing student enrollment as well as our program needs, we need the building expansion plans as well too. And right now, our current situation is that the City of St. Paul City Council is going to be discussing more and making a decision about the conduit bond. It's a loan basically for charter schools to receive so that we can move forward with these building projects. And I'm going to ask that Mr. Kuvain, our project manager, talk more about that with you so he can explain that and you can have a clear idea. But that is the purpose of why we're meeting tonight. nun je lo ma na be to shin ji shi tha ye 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 na le ka ta ko hai sing tha ma su ka be ki the preschool program ye for high school program wa ye be yan ba ye na le shong school year off tha na bo yi off tha na bo all ne be ye ki off program na be ya mi tu mi yo ye be ke chin na ho be ru che ka ta na be shi ka chai be off ko ye for the building company expansion plan ye ma be ti mo ne to na be shi tha Shalaที่ตึกจีเดนะไปยังปาริจาต่อไปมาเตาของ project นั้นที่ดีว่าเตามีว่าเตาจะไปเชื่อสายต่อไปทำป้าเตาไปจะมีตัวมีหน่วยที่จะ program ไปยังป้าเลยค่ะที่น้องที่จะมีเรื่องที่ก็มาละผู้ว่าที่จะไปเป็น project manager ตัวจะไปเชื่อสายที่เรานี่ก็จะเขา process น้องที่นั่นแต่ยังไม่หมดเลยน้องนี่แต่เรายังจะไปว่าเรื่องที่ชี้เขาด้วยน้อง
Saint Thomas again yung pada yang ada berdua pre-K Georgia high school ni pasal tu nak kita belum tu ni bang pre-K Georgia high school tu di mana belum ma arah jo mandera jo ledak kan ya one school expansion one ni kita pada sekolah ada sini kau semua kita semua pun nanti le akhir tak pada ya dia jadi kita ni berkemar Mr. Kuve, jadi biologi lah macam mana, dah tu terus jauh kaya mana kita arah dah ni.
So at this time, I would like to ask Kuvain to come and speak to our parents. We share a lot of what Kuvain has been doing.
Good evening. As Mike said, my name is Kuvain. I am the project manager for the school. We've been looking at this expansion project for about a year now. And so the school would like to add about 70,000 square feet. That will include a new gym, bigger than this, twice as big as this.
Cara menjaga pengemalan orang Jawa, pokok beda kan mandera juga mandera Jawa ini jenis tadi pengemalan apa beda Jawa ni, apa beda lah nuai kelama, lah nuai kelama, mandera jenis kisahnya mau kota ni belum ada contoh.
There will also be 27 new classrooms, so there's more room for the students to learn in this new building, and there will also be new offices for the administrators. The classrooms are music, art, science, and so on. So it will be a much better place to teach the student and for the student to learn.
Kitchen ni toma class ni kitchen ni classroom. Terkadang mana go kita office le, jutra dalam mula itu, kita office le main office le, macam kita menyawa ya. Di toda sultan ni tu pura lo lihat le pakai ada apa.
To be able to do this, the school has to go borrow some money. And for school to borrow money, we have to go ask the city to help us borrow the money. So the city borrows the money, it comes to the school builds the building. In the past, this has always been an easy process, and the city has always approved the borrowing of money easily.
Joe cái này qua nè, Joe này các bạn khi lôi ra chỉ lo với ship call của nhà, khi lôi ra ship call này, cái lẽ khi lôi ra cái Joe chỉ là to đó, các bạn nhớ với cái hay cái lôi ra cái Joe chỉ, vì mà đó mà thế đó Joe mà đó Joe này, lấy nhà khác này, ta lấy một số bà bác ở đây ta mà đó Joe này, này cái le có này ta có
Recently, the city council, which is the people that you all elect to go down term, they have changed their mind and they want to not borrow money anymore for school for 6 months so that they can decide how they want to move forward. This makes Hope's project very difficult.
The community banane. Where's the pony? I do that. I don't know what to cover that.
Right. Eropa, wese con Eropa tu kaweda ta tu chilo tu vi de pa wa bo. Ko ta le ta khane ke ra ta ko le ko wa ko la pa tu era. Eropa tu era tu la de ke hi lo tu le bi lo chi le ju wa ba jo de tu era chi le le tu ga. Qua ra ju era ma chi ra vera.
The meeting tonight is to ask for all the parents to help us to write to your city council member, to call them and to tell them that you have children that are going to the school here and that it will be good for them to borrow the money so that we can expand the building so that your children can have a better education. So we are asking the parents of these children who lives in the ward of the city to assist us in calling the city council member, in writing the city council member, and then emailing the city council member so that they know that you guys are supportive of the project.
Lo có ba cái phòng môn ba ta mà chờ mó lừa tao có được hai nhà này bé rồi té sẽ có đó đi tao đó cái cọ mấy là cái email mấy là cái share này anh lừa city councilor với sẽ có nạn mó lừa cái lo cả chỉ đi tao đó bagaimana mana đó chụp lại vào cái này bao nhiêu cô lại nó phơi nó đưa raเลยnào để nó bé tao cũng phải làตัวแพมอก็ตอนนี้เนี่ยแม่ที่เราเนี่ยมีแม่แต่เราคอยเราจะจุกกันได้เราเนี่ยเราอยู่พอว่าเนี่ยเอาที่มาแกที่รอกับปากกันหมดว่ากัน
I'm going to speak in tongues a little bit, okay? Nhớ trong lý trường là sự kiện này cho người tôi mong muốn, có là ta mới khi hà lỡ cú lúc về hộ chúng ta nó cũng là từ mong ba lắm tốt, và hộ chỉ khá là chỉ nó. Rồi lúc chỉ khá bây giờ nó về người gió nhờ trang chào cho kháng sự bị nè, để từ lúc trang lúc là chỉ nó là in to này, okay? Để từ ổn định nó từ bây giờ chỉ to. Okay. So one day cái bây giờ tôi tao nói là bây giờ tao một vài nhà trong city, tại cái nhà nó có hội nhập khán được bàn nó để city sai nó hộp sẽ được mà city chỉ mua sĩ cái kệ tập áo là cái hội mà kệ nè, câu mà cái nhà nó mà sai nó gì cái một hàng cái city nhé chẳng sai là bảo vệ là city chỉ tao kệ tập áo rồi cái hộp kệ sẽ được mà tao yêu cầu nó để post sai taoจะ compliment the child แต่ผมมันอยู่นิ้วนะแต่illustrate เรารู้นะแต่post แต่ถ้าผมจะติดการที่แต่ post ใจมันใส่เนี่ยตัวจะเช็คกันดาวโรดูมันตัวจะผมบอกดูมันตัวจะปงปูนะดูมัน我把我写了แต่ผม有ดูมันมั่วเนี่ยชอบเฝ้าใช่นี่有种一样的很多的牛做 post แต่ไปหาแบบสามพอผมไม่เจ้าหน้าที่แต่มันไม่ต้นหัวนั่นไม่ต้นถึงเป็นแต่ที่ห้าไม่ต้นเท้าห้าไม่สามพอตัวยังไม่ผูกจองแล้วเดี๋ยวนั้นไม่จะมีต้นโยด้วยจะเงาหัวเสียงพอเนาะไม่จะมีต้นโยก็คือกันแล้วเสียงพอเนาะไม่ก็คือเงาเสียงพอไม่ก็คือฟอร์มบาตัวเล็กน้องสมัยเป็นนักย่างโลดูมันตัวเรเบคก้าแลกเกอร์โลดูมันตัวเจนเซนส์โลดูมันตัวเอมี่แบรนด์โนก็จะเนาะถ้าก็ไม่ดูเป็ดถ้าก็ไม่เท่าห้าไม่ดูเป็ดคู่มันตัวนั้นสิที่เขาสอบถ้าเราอยากให้เขาพาจะคือจะต้องมี support ถ้าก็ไม่ดูเป็ดชาวดาวจะหาไม่ดูเป็ดสักทีน้องจะให้เขาบอกเลยว่าแต่ไม่น้องเลยจะอีกอย่างเป็นสิ่งที่ต้องสิ่งพอน้องไม่เขาพาจะที่เขาคือในเด็กๆไม่ให้เด็กๆมันจะมีโยนแต่ช่วงเราต้องไปช่วงพวกเราการแต่งงานเราต้องรู้เด็กจริงๆเนาะเรามุ่งตัวทำเราจะไม่จะมีโยนจะตัวพุ่งOkay. So that is the meeting tonight. is to ask for your support, is to ask for your assistance. When we look at Hope's student the distribution, we find that even though Hope is in Ward 7, which is Councilmember Jane Prince's ward, the majority of your children comes from Ward 6, which is Councilmember Nelsie Yang's ward, okay? And so there are a couple of council members that we would like for you to assist us in getting the message out, such as Ward 7, Councilmember Jane Prince, Ward 6, Councilmember Nelsie Yang, Ward 5, Councilmember Amy Brenmoen, who happens to be the council president also, and Ward 3, which is Councilmember Necker.
Tiếp vào đó lớp của tôi họ đã được sự phò rất không số lớp đùa khó nào đó ở bên này
Di pada pagkatara wala di pada kuje di pada waktu naga macam sekolah macam awal ni pagkatara le kuna itu belum banyak mau kira council
Ward 7 is Councilmember Jane Prince.
pagkatara le council member Jane Prince awal na le kuna Jane Prince.
Ward 6 is Councilmember Nelsie Yang.
No Ward 6, Council Nelsie Yang.
Ward 5 is Councilmember Amy Brenmoen.
No Ward 5, the Council Member Amy Bradford.
And Ward 3 is Councilmember Rebecca Necker.
Sorry, Ward 3, the Council Member Rebecca. Oh, no.
So that is the ask. That is the reason for the meeting. That is the request from the administration and the board for your help. It's to build a better building, a larger building that can provide a better place to educate your children. And we're asking for your assistance to help us make this a reality. With that, if anybody has any questions, we can ask and we'll try to answer it.
Agora tao put hanya ni le ta pagate di nya wala ku kumpa ko dei lo mo le da ko ba ko le ko na de la o cha da ku da ma che le ke ma che ba go ta fi kwa no mi da fi pa lo.
If the city does decide not to provide funding, is there alternate sources that can be explored?
Thank you for the question. Charter school by state law cannot own your own building. So we have to go set up another company, another organization to own the building and lease it back to the charter school. Charter school by state law cannot levy taxes, so it's not like the district school where you can just levy taxes. This is the only type of resource that a charter school has to be able to borrow 100% of the financing. So if it's not this vehicle, then we have to go to a bank, go to other places where you can only borrow 70%, 75%. So as I said, charter school cannot own buildings, so we can't use our money. The Hope cannot use its money for the down payment. And so that's why this is the only vehicle.
Gotcha.
Tapi quan hệ này ra từ khi ta mang chờ đi này đây ta mang chờ mình mang chờ vào lúc mà đi làm mà ta kêu cái họ cũng cô ya rồi ra kêu cái họ đâu nó cô à kêu này kêu từ bố là họ tôi là từ chỗ này từ đây từ lúc chỗ à cái cho được của cái ra ta tôi thấy cái này từ ô là từ chỗ như vậy mà ô là có cái cái ní rồi có cái này từ pháp quỷ về ra nên vì mà cái gì ra cái là từ chỗ thấy cái nào về ra không. Yang kota ni, klewe ni kle tebulok, lu ke macam ada pencuri kau ke teror ni, kedua ni mana?
So mình nuôi ta do ta biết phải cho phải nhà mình có mua được con nhà thì phải phải lái này nha. Để cú mình là sự ta nó để sức trai để cho charter school để home nó để những cái mua trai thì một thứ được 学啦，你去我家去我人家去谁帮做呢？就帮我帮我学，对吧？แต่เป็นจะต้องมุ่งชี้จ้างลูกโป่งชาเลยลูกคำพูดชาลูกมุ่งใจเนี่ยจะเลยมาพูดลูกเจนเลยสาวแต่บ้านตัวหกซึ่งนะแต่ยังมุ่งหรือป้อนเนี่ยฮะแต่ชิมาจะไม่ไปอยู่เจเราไม่อยู่รถไฟนะอย่าตาไม่อยากคนที่พูดเราแล้วแต่พวกผมไม่ติดแบงเลยเล่นกับเราแล้วในโลกที่เราแต่พวกจะการใส่ใจจนชิเป็นปัวซึ่งนะแต่อย่าตาสเตจพูด好时候人家都冇合併咗哋呢啲乜嘢整呀，เราจะไปอะไรผู้ชี可能ตัวก็จะ charter school revenue 看多半，แต่ที่ชี可能就ไปอะไรจ่าย到1%的咁嘅，他後來知道之後，人家就冇合併，他哋自己加呢。我們嚟呀，我們嚟 hot questions. Is there any other questions we can answer?
My question is, I guess, somewhat more of a comment, but also a question. What are your plans to outreach to the neighborhood? Because I know this particular facility does help the neighborhood at large too.
Sure. So the outreach to the neighborhood is a little bit of a catch-22. We don't want to get in front of the neighborhood approach and not have council members be on board. We don't want to get in front of them and not have the application in. So we're kind of back and forth in here. So the site plan has been submitted. PED has given us, sorry, not PED, DSI has given us conditional approval based on a number of things in which we have to modify. And then once the application, or once it comes up for the first resolution at the city council, then typically that's when we go back and we have conversations with the district offices and the neighborhood group. Then if there's any modifications to the plan or changes to the plan, we can do those during that process between the application timeline and the charter school approval. And so we can deal with that at that time.
Well, I think the neighborhood could also be advocates for us.
Absolutely.
And I think we should, not only let them know about the plan, but reach out and say, listen, we're looking to expand. We need some help with the council to also advocate for us. That's what I'm getting at.
I think that's a great idea. And about a week and a half ago, we reached out to the district council down here already. And I forget what his name is. We haven't not yet, but that is our next call. So right now, the resolution is planning to come in front of the HRA on October 14th. So.
Tapi kalau kan ya kira cukup apa macam le buat orang teli ni kalau kok kok dia kan buat macam apa dia mau jadi kita macam le cuaca ni kalau dia kita macam lo jadi dia nak pada ya le macam orang teli ni kalau kok macam apa mana rata ambil lo kerja jauh dia le macam apa nanti kini kalau kita ya kalau kok ada ni terus kalau council member จะเลิกเว้ยพอคนหน้าเลยก็มาถือว่าบ้านนี้ที่กว่าถ้าเกิดได้อยากจบเนี่ยที่กว่าถ้าเกิดได้อยากเลยมาได้รับจุดตีวีมากเอาไว้ไอ้เราจะเดี๋ยวเรากว่าเลยพวกเก็บปาร์ตี้ผ่านอยู่
I will be right back.
What is HRA?
Sure. So HRA stands for Housing and Redevelopment Authority. So it's another group that approves, whenever the state of St. Paul spends money, the HRA has to approve it. So you elect city council members. The city council members sits as the HRA board, and they sit as your city council members. So it's the same people, just acting as two separate committees.
Conflict of interest?
Tapi kalau orang yang HRA nak kemudian HRA nak kira kalau macam ada housing ke bawah ada jadi tak tutup sini ke bawah. Agar ada apa jadi pada wes kalauคนนั่นเลยmacam mana? Nanti awak ada terus kikuru yang ni. Macam apa? Macam di tolak ke kalau lah nanti awak kikuru.
我上到诺的 HRA 样子呢， So HRA then inside the Housing Redevelopment Authority, no, the yato who say Paul on the what they could city, your Tanya, the city, your Moya, the there's so your phone on who how to dot guy the city, what like now. They all member that you're to join the HRA, none of the meet the city council member, that's it, and I take the NLC law, the one that they just what you're not that. They talk what you're shot the law, the way HRA commissioner. They talk what the I'm not talking about the way a city council member was it. So long, the name you look over HRA, not HRA, look over they are young and they are looking to try guy, they are looking to sign out to
Okay, if there are no other questions, Kevin? Okay, the question is, if we have someone, a community member or a teacher or staff member who is not a resident of the St. Paul, the city of St. Paul, what can you do to help?
Thank you for that question. Every letter of support, every call, every email is beneficial, regardless where you live, regardless where you reside. If you have an interest in helping St. Paul, it's very important. Obviously, elected officials, they listen a little bit more closely when it's people that are in their ward or in St. Paul who can vote. So it doesn't mean that if you don't live in St. Paul or in that ward, it's not relevant. It's still relevant, but it may not carry as much weight as somebody who lives in that ward, so that that council member knows that you are a potential voter. So. Nếu luôn luôn là giờ là khi nó St. Paul đó, vô là chẳng lại bán lại một lần nữa. Còn này là chỉ khi nó St. Paul rồi giờ là mấy cái sau ít tháng lại rồi giờ cô ít là phone để thấy là email mà ta nói giờ thì họ cái việc sản xuất là cái gì bán rồi đó. Rồi khi mà người ta cho cứ nó chú lên nó thì có lúc số sai trang là dạng cái cái phố nè, nó thì là có nhau vụ St. Paul có nhau một phố ward nó thì nhà cao sau đó là cao hơn ít là phone có sai cái email nó thì bây giờ này có ý nhiều muốn được về cho phải là có bảo ta nhà phố chủ lại cái hạ rồi là phố chủ nó cái hạ rồi thì bây giờ có gì sai phố được trả hạ cũng không phải rồiแต่ที่มาเจอเล็กจ้าเหรอrồi giờ lên từ cả pháo lên từ cả phố ít trang phone lên từ cả sai tan đó thì thật là bây giờ trả tiền của cho họ được không?
And I also want to add to our community members, friends of Hope Community Academy, to our staff members, board members who are not residents of St. Paul. We do have letters, templates that you can also send to the city council members, like you just said. We do have their all 7 city council members' contact information as well, so we will make that available. So yes, phone calls, emails, anything you can do to help that would be grateful to help our project as well. Thì đi mà ta không biết lấy là chỉ có hai đứa cái step là cái điểm chỉ không như nhau học sinh thì điểm thành khó nè. Nên ba tổ thì bây giờ ba tổ thì tạo giờ thì này sao tổ hiện tại đây sao một cái giờ city council là bây giờ một cái gì bây giờ là cái tông cái email address này bây mà giờ mỗi người là cái này thay cái bao này ở trong này.
Tapi kau pun boleh, tapi lama, Nami ada orang sekolah bahawa mau nama cerita dia ni. Dah sistem ni pada bahawa tu wasi paula, nasa email te, kau te, nasa lete, dah macam khai nami ada macam ni nasa lerkoi na, kita macam lama, nami tu orang sekolah bahawa nak niคนน่าเกิดกันได้เพราะว่าเจ๊ที่บ้านเมืองเราจะว่าการหาอาแบบในดิเซ่ในเมชมีคุยเรามาเจอตั้งมาเจอเราเดินมาเจอเราสาวมั้งแล้วแต่ไม่เป็นก็อาจจะมีลูกคนน่าเลยแต่จะทำกับว่าเชื่อว่าหรือที่ท่านนี่อันนี้ไม่เลย email ni ramu lo on ramu lo kita jangan tu lo itu kau ni tu mampu lo tu lo di jangan tu lo.
Okay, so yami chuo nundu la te yomo atan ta na tame na. Tata lai no te ni ya city council be ha forward ha put thanya ha put call to email na. Te ko osha lai no te la ti on no te la be sang me sang du be sang mo le la me mo sen do ke na ma sang mo na. Te chau no te la me mu be mu le ya. Me mo picture to bây giờ cần đại gia độ hộp nó hai mươi lúc cần đầu tư luôn là để hộp bao nó là cái sao cũng biết xem hai sáu mươi thân nhóc để số bé số tổng một dù để có hai bao là mình nhận định từ hai mươi nhóc phải cần từ nè. So I have two documents here that out front we would like you to assist us if there's no more questions. The first one is a list of all the council members, their contact information, their ward, their emails, their phone numbers, and stuff of that nature. The second is a prepared letter where we would like you to help us fill it out tonight, and we can send it in too. And it basically tells us who you are. We will fill in what ward you're in, how many children do you have going to Hope, how long have they been going to Hope. We'd like you to sign it and write down your address. And the address is very important because it tells the council member where you live, and it tells them that you're a potential voter and that you're a potential resident, that you are a resident of their ward. So.
Cái thế này là ta mình nhau vậy nó, ta cái này khi cái này nó, ta cho ra cái này cái đó phải làคนนั้นเลยตรงเชิญยอดที่ได้พระอันนี้นะaddress เลยอีเมลเลยเนาะที่ข้างขนาดแค่นั้นเลยดูจะแบบว่าแต่หากอย่างนี้มาคุยหรอก็เดี๋ยวนี้มาคุยหรอเราจะเชื่อว่าจะลองคุยเสร็จทีหรออย่างนี้อะไรด้วยเนี่ยจะได้เลยหรือว่าคนนั้นนี้ก็จะคุยถ้าจะได้เลยคุยกันเลยเราเรียนรู้กันได้เลยการขนาดจะได้เลย address ถ้าเป็นคนละ address เนี่ยเรื่องอะไรจะได้เลยคนนั้นเป็นอะไรเลยดูบ้านเชื่อเลยเนี่ย address อะไรจะได้เลยบ้านเราคือคนนั้นเป็นอะไรก็เดี๋ยวอาจจะเวลาเดี๋ยวจะอย่างนั้นคนนั้นเลยที่บอกเลยได้เลยเนี่ยจะได้โอเคkhông có đóเลยก็คือคือเธอเวลาคนนั้นสิ
Specifically, this is a very important project for our school, for your children, for you, our families. You have been asking for many, many years for a preschool program and a high school program so that all your kids can just stay in one school. And because of your loyalty to Hope, we are following through. But we need your support right now to help ensure that we get this project through. We need the conduit bonds to make this possible, this new addition possible. So we are asking for your help, we're asking for your support in reaching out to the city council members. There is a letter that we are passing out right now, as well as a list of city council members at the city of St. Paul. Please help us. I know that there are a number of families at home who are watching online. We will make this available to you. We will be contacting you as well to help us too. And to our friends who are not residents of the city of St. Paul, again, please let us know who you are so that we can also send you the information. ตกลงขอละป้าใครจะเป็นเนี่ยสีที่ที่ช่องสีไปขอในป้าไปเองอะจะขออย่างสีม้วนนี่สเก็ตรูปนี่สเก็ตเข้าไปรู้สึกเราตรงนั้นต่อรู้ชงเรานะไปอย่างน้อยในต่อรู้ชงในขอกับไปว่าเขา preschool program ที่หมดเราก็ high school ก่อนในเดือนนี้ก็มีอยู่ก่อนเราที่รู้สึกเราเขาพบเราซึ่งอย่างนี้สเก็ตรูปนี่เข้าไปรู้สึกเราไปที่ดีชอไปที่ดีโอชี้จอเดือนต่อนี้ให้เชื่อสาให้เชื่อชาวไปเราไปยังวอที่สเก็ตชาวที่อย่างนี้เนี่ยเดี๋ยวเราคุยขอในป้าชาวไปที่คูโรเจอร์ซิตี้คาวน์ซิลก่อนแล้วป้าไปขอโปรเจกต์นะป้าใส่คนนี้นะเธอไปชี้หมดแล้วก็ไปโชว์ดีเลยคนนี้นะอยากขอไปที่ต้องการแต่ชี้นะไปที่ว่าต่อเขาเดินถึงโปรเจกต์ไปเจอมีตัวมีหยองตัวอย่างก่อนที่ปวดหัวในเฉลยป้าไปที่ไปหมดอย่างต่อใหญ่ต่อแต่ชี้นะแต่ชี้เนี่ยต่อก็ต่อจีนหัวมาแล้วในก็ต่อผมต่อไปก็ต้องชี้ฐานเราไปมาในที่ตอนนี้แล้วจะไปเจอเนี่ยที่นะ 有没有朋友想到就 staff 然后是个情况，你从过看到了，保护多的话，你我哋看到的3点到的你的话，就必须要到一两天。
Mentioning a comment or question came through online.
Yep.
So would it be safe to say that high school will not be operating by next year, fall 2021-22?
So for the timeline, to address the question that came through online, is that if the school community is supportive and you guys help us with all of the email campaign and the letter and the call, and on October 14th, the HRA votes to have the first hearing, and then a week after, they'll vote to have the second hearing and the approval. If that gets done before the end of October, we can move ahead and close on the bonds by the middle of December, which means we'll start construction in January of 2021. So what that means is that we will work our hardest to get at least the first floor done and the second floor done, so that you guys will have classrooms on the second floor, you have your admin area and your gym on the first floor, so you can start the expansion that you guys want, with the third floor coming in probably before the mid-year or before Christmas break. Okay, so it is pushed a little bit into the school year of 21-22, but it doesn't mean that we will not have a building in 21-22. You'll have the first floor, the second floor, and the third floor will come a little bit later. And so these are processes or sequencing that happens all the time. Like, we just finished up Community of Peace Academy, where first floor and second floor just got delivered, and then the lower level will be delivered on next 2 weeks. So, Lulu đó là người ta do ta chỉ có phần do ta do lên đó nó để thay đó là cái số liệu trong cái July đó nè, Lulu quốc tế là do ta mới bán ha lúc cầu thì mình tiếp tục lâu nữa nè, để mong cho nên city càng có first hearing, để mình tiếp tục cao nữa để city có second hearing để có approve đó, để lên đó nó để lúc cái này mà ô không được sai hay của lúc cầu off thì tuần trao là đỡ tăng là nó để một cái dài đầu cả nhà tăng, để cái nó làm tí một chế tạo lúc ít lì nè, để của dù nó lúc gì thì đây thảo chỉ tự chạy rất hết cái đó nè, sau đó mình lúc chỉ phải ở mà niệm cái sam nè, để thảo chỉ chạy cái đó là để sáng ý từ admin office, lúc gym, một cái music room ha cho multi-purpose room là tăng, ha sáng off thì cái classroom là sáng off tăng. Để tới ra sắm cái đó là để tới rồi họ là cái lobby cao cao nữa để cái là nó ổn định nè, ok? Và còn nó là biết phá để nó đổ khỏi người ta, cái hạt cao là để như họ lên hạt để đi đâu, nên có cái nên có mà nên học cái lại nè, ok?
Jadi pada persiwera tokoh di pada tujuh ini buku kesara kalau ada nanti hadira tokoh buku juga apa nih tujuan kalau ada saya mau tujuan masuk kalau ada tujuan pada nih dalam kita belum bahwa tujuan apa kalau mau tujuan di di pada kita masih di pada pernah di pada kita ada tujuan materi ini tapi kalau kita sekolah ada Jadi ini kalau kita kerja ya, kita mana tu kerja di bawah tadi. Kita dari kita mau ni tu gula, tapi apa ya? Nah itu terus tapi kita ini kalau di hari ini atau di ini tu Oktober itu kalau ni kita tu ngomong. Oktober kiwa Oktober itu lah Oktober kiwa ni Oktober itu lari bani, tapi sebenarnya tapi sebenarnya lebih ada siapa, jadi mana siapa. Jadi kalau ni tidur ni, coklat ni, kemudian kita kiki awak ni, jadi gua ada kiki trouble. Kalau trouble ada apa ni? Kiki trouble only apa ni? Jo sahada kiki dia high school में nearly a class only more than the Bahrain to nearly na ye te lo ta cha ta tro ni ko ri ba.
Okay, so before the meeting, I would like to ask our principal, Dr. Lee, to say a few words to our parents as well. Dr. Lee?
Thank you. Okay, so why do we ask for your help? I know that you want the best schools for your children, and you want the best focused school. You know, since last year, I started doing some research about the best schools in the state and the other country. And I learned, I've been principal for 50 years, and the best schools have specific focus from K to third grade and fourth to eighth grade. Those are the most important grades that we need to spend time to focus on. So when we have a high school here, we are going to focus really hard. Right now, we are starting already putting a lot of resources for our kindergartens and third grade to make sure that our students can read and write by third grade. And then after that, we want to focus on specific track. If you look at India and South Korea, they produce the most doctors, medical doctors in the world. Why? Because they have specific focus from those grades to make sure that our students don't lose track. So when we have our school, we gotta do that to make sure that our students don't lose track. In St. Paul, Minnesota, I have 2 children who were so great. In third grade, they skip a grade because the teachers feel that they're so good. But by the time they get to middle school, what happens to them? Because our school are not supporting and not providing the foundation for them, they lose interest. So they went to high school and they just play around because they're so smart, right? They don't have to study hard, they can get good grade. Then what happens? When they go to college, it's becoming more difficult for them. So what we are doing here is that our students are going to learn how to read and write, how to use the language that they learn in class, the vocabulary words that they learn in math and science and social study, to communicate their understanding. So that by the time they get to 12th grade, they can use the academic language that we ask them to do. That is what we're going to do. But in order for us to have that, we need the high school expansion so that we can continue. Our vision is this. When we have a high school, we're going to focus really hard on medical terms. We want to prepare our students to pass the medical examination in high school, so that when they go to college, they can pass the test to go to nursing or to go to MD, medical program. Medical school is fun, it's very important. Good job for all. And so we will prepare our students to do that. I know that your dream is for your students to be somebody special, making good money. That's what we want to do here.
Tapi yang tu lah kita ni amatura tu kau salah lah kita sila tu kita polisi. Kau dah betul ni kita high school macam ni pada salah lah amat kita sila tu ni amalu era kita tak kali tak kuali tak tera tu dibeli tu. Kalau salah ni tu ni amalu lah kita aluan kita tu punggung tak ni apa. Tu lah kita ni kuat tak ni kita kalau is that a farmawate do what I keep the rate lawyer amo but look on the popular of the Tony who are all about to particular to the top week and make all of our running for that learn high school may order the me la high school was to put in money to my lower at the limit to keep the part about to that limit my local that the month to study and month to do that they are the college to take on me and made us say that said very me I got probation shop from the toilet to the do
I want to tell you that our students are very, very bright. Our students here are very bright. What we need to do better is to provide a track, a pathway, so that they have a vision, so that they can think ahead, they see what the future is going to look like, so they can study hard. That is what we need to do. So we need to create a foundation here for our students to come to feel good about themselves, to want to learn, to see. So by 12th grade, 11th, 12th grade here, I want to send our medical students to the local hospitals to learn about what the doctors and the nurses are really doing, to see what the medical field looks like. And if they don't choose to go medical, at least they'll be well prepared for college. They will be well prepared for college. And if they don't go to medical school, they can go to any other field and they will be successful.
mà radio mà bộ cái tên là to cái nó không thể cho được cái lời ta được lên được khai vậy không.
I also did a little research about the jobs in the second half of the 21st century. There will be a lot of jobs, very good paying jobs in the next 10 to 20 years because, the older generations are living longer than before. And there will be more jobs for nurses and for doctors. And that's why we want to prepare our students to make sure they get good jobs.
Gì để mà có đã lơ qua lơ aprobat bên nhà lần citra sẽ ở bên này được quát khởi đúng không? Rồi kita đó ta sẽ làm mà này và thiết chế này thì tức là người lo mà chỉ là thế thôi.
Okay. Bây giờ mình mong là lúc trước ở high school là mình chỉ đang hành đi được coi thì phải mua trong nhỏ là đi sẽ phải trong nhỏ mong là cái đó ta khi mấy tuổi nó mù ta chỉ mà cho little school đó nhà thì chỉ muốn xé lại cho họ là cái gì là cái chỉ là mà thì là chỉ muốn họ ít tập cái đồ trong nhỏ đâu là bỏ ra này thì là ở đầu tiên là cái đó cái này dùng thì nó chỉ đó thì là như dùng đó. Giờ đi ra cho nó một sảnh nhá high school thì một sảnh được college thì sảnh đâu rồi. Giờ bây giờ ở high school này bây giờ ba cho giờ lúc học kia nó dùng cả cái cho mấy trong nhiều nhau không bé một sự còn là chân nhiều trong đó nó chỉ chân đó nó và lúc high school cái sau với lúc high school qua medical school nó mà sẽ thì một cái sai một doctor hoặc một nurse một ba khoa lúc là lúc chuyện này. Cái trong nhiều đó còn nó không bé xưa thì cái high school thì không bé xưa thì cái chuyện này cũng là quá khi cho mình đó hay là do cái quan nó của doctor sẽ phải cho nó làm so high school thì bây giờ là một internship tôi cho hospital nó gọi là ôn do với lúc học kia mà ta high school sẽ nhớ chủ sẵn tàu đã medical examination á em nó một cái college thì thì chỉ như nhau rồiแต่สิ่งนั้นไม่ใช่ที่จะมีอยู่กับ college นะฝั่งจงมุจิตเอาจาก medical field มีแต่พอเราสั่งจิตเอาถูก test แล้วยังมีแต่จิตเอามีแต่พอจะเป็นกับ high school เส้น middle school นะเป็นกับตอนนี้กับดาซึ่งแต่ชีวิตไม่พอหอบเกี่ยวแต่ตัวเป็นสั่งไปสั่งเขาจะสั่งจิตเอาเลยนะกูที่อายุเกิดโตแล้วก็ที่เราที่น้อยอยู่มันก็เชื่อที่ยอมมีจากเขาตั้งแต่เรียกว่าตากูหายไปเลยจ้านะผมว่าตัวนี้อ่ะแต่ละที่แต่เก่งนะสองเป็นสิ่งว่าลาเก่งจะไม่จี๋อเกิดตาให้สู้จนกูที่สงสารแต่ชิมาชอบได้เจดีย์หล่อเจนี่เลยห้องยี่ห้องจั่วได้เจดีย์หล่อเจดีย์เขาจะเกิดแล้วว่าจะดีสุดอะไรคุยมาแค่ไหนจงเลยไม่รู้จิกนะเรียกว่าจังจีในเช้าที่จากอินเดียได้ที่จากเกาหลีนะจำอยู่กับตัวดังที่จงชอบเราอยู่ที่คนเดียวสองห้องปล้นสุดที่จ่อเดียวลูกตอนลูกhọc kiaตอนได้จงจังนะมันเลยจ่อเลยจงอยู่กับตัวจ่อลูกเลยฮะก็เลยก็เชื่อ他จะจีนนะแต่เราจะจีจุลีอ่ะสองห้องยี่ห้องตัวเสียที่จ่อแต่ละว่าจีนสหายสกุลแต่ละที่จ่อคนเลยก็หันแล้วจงเกิดจะฟิลจงใช้จ่อจะว่าหลุดได้นะ 这个路路这三天了，要去找也是去见，好了。这样这个叫么来去三个，我打够了，这里个套我那这里看下了，这里个三个那知道一到成错了。OK， 有了别件啥的，你我这给早天特别高了，是去做，别件的话到别件没那个项目做，到要做几天呢？那我录的时间早些的，或是动作的别卡的，别我现在只要 ，Thank you。
Thank you, Dr. Lee. Hỗ trợ Dr. Lee theo là hãy áo với lò lụt sau cho bây giờ để những cái mình nhiều rồi cái chỉ cần thời gian khoảng gì nó giờ thì nó cái mua lúa nông gì trong nó rồi thì bây giờ là sau với có trong thị thảo thì cũng chỉ thấy là ở thôn phục có đối với đâu nhiều gì thì không như sẽ được cho qua sau cái chỉ cần là nó kia giờ thì mua lúa nông gì là có phụ có bây mà giờ bây giờ so at this time, we're going to close our meeting, and I just want to say thank you to all the parents who came tonight. Thank you to the parents who couldn't come but are online. If you have any other questions that you think of later, please give us a call at the school number. We will return your call. We will return your answer your questions or any clarifications you may have.
Tất cả các bạn thì là để tao cô là hàng này đó tất cả các đứa thì mình nên về tôi nên về đó là thì các bạn phải thấy này có tôi biết có tôi có thể làm nó có tôi thì có đây há và đây có cái cái này đây anh mình
Again, your papers, we will collect them, so if you don't mind, we will have the staff come around and collect the letters that you completed, and we will send those on your behalf to the city council, to your city council. You may keep the one that has all the city council contact information, so that again, if you want to call them, please do so. We ask you to call them as well too. There are the talking points handout. If you did not get that, there are still some more handouts on the table out there to help you when you call the city council members, what to say to them as well. Again, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Untuk dia soal buku nama kita tahu nanti, tapi malu tapi kita setiap langkah ada tahu semua itu kita city council nanti. Tapi malu langkah ni, tapi malu kau nanti. Kita ini kau dah ya, mau tanya ke city council member lagi setong lagi kerja apa city hall nanti. Betul information dah nanti kau nanti, jika nanti hujan, kau nanti tak hujan lagi sih ya. Bây giờ chuối này tới từ cái này tàu rồi chỉ cho cô tặng là tôi không được tàu tại đây là kho không quan thời gian khi lúc này thì tôi biết thay tôi lớn đó thế bây giờ phải đi trả thì bây giờ chuối cho nó là cứ trong sáng đầu cái kho khởi là nó có cái vô cái có phải tôi để gì không có làm gì
Đó nó này cái nào là cái điều này là ba phải là nhé nên cái cái qua mà nó có được cái gần như là cái đó nó có cái gần cái nó cái tô cái cái nào đó có thể là cái tô đó là cho thì nếu mình đi này nó đâu có được nhé nên đó là mình đem đi để cái nhà bạn nhé nó ta cái nhà này bọc quẹt cả nên là được rồi nó sẽ nó đâu có được.
Again, thank you all very much for coming tonight and joining us from home. Tôi cho đầu hôm nay các tổ bên đi trong thảm vào kia. Đây là hai người. Như là cái